What is up, guys? Welcome back to Marijuana SA Weekly. Tonight is episode 67. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 67, and we've got a really cool subject matter tonight. We're going to be talking alternative pest control methods. So naturally we've got Dean, the expert grower, and he's going to be sort of guiding the conversation. We both did some research, but yeah, Dean, how's it going, and where are you going to start the alternative pest discussion with us tonight?
Yo, what's up, everyone? Super exciting topic. We had the idea after our webinar, which we did quite recently, where there was a lot of good feedback related to sort of a lot of questions about pest control and a lot of good feedback related to alternative methods. So we thought it would be something we'd explore a little bit further this week. I've prepared quite a lot of cool information related to companion planting, and yeah, we're going to speak a little bit about beneficial and non-beneficial pests, and on top of that, just a few other methods. Companion planting has become something of a passion of mine recently. My garden, I grew too many plants, and then my garden was overrun by all those sweet smells attracted in all of the pests known to man, and I've been dealing with a good sort of 2-3 years of loads of pests, and it's just from bad gardening practices, as we're going to explore a little bit further now. So yeah, I hope you guys are going to find some value in here. You know, it's we always just sort of concentrating on growing cannabis, but if we've got the space, you know, it's as rewarding to grow a lot of other plants as well, edible plants, plants that look good, plants that smell good as well, and just to build a nice sort of micro environment. Andy with the sneaky one over there. So Andy, what do you have to talk about tonight?
Yeah, so what I've been realizing of late, and having a mini epiphany about is it's not just us that loves weed. It's the Jojos and Shongololos and all that, they also love it. So it's an endless battle between good and evil, and tonight we thought we'd break that down. So the clear differentiator that I really want to emphasize is that me and Dean spoke about this a lot, and tonight we don't really want to talk about like sort of organic pesticides, because I know a lot of you guys might be thinking, oh, okay, you guys are just going to use like garlic infusions and this and that, and neem oils and things like that. We really want to do that as a talking point, but tonight we really want to focus on no chemicals as our pest control methods. So yeah, there's various different types. I'll be talking about some of the sort of beneficial pests, and then I think Dean, maybe you can kick it off with your segment.
So what the thinking behind my new passion for companion planting takes me back to my time in the wine industry, where you deal with something called terroir. So a terroir is basically like a microclimate that is found on each individual wine farm, and that's the reason that the wines would taste different, because this microclimate has more shade or whatever, and it just all in the end will affect the end product. And cannabis is very much similar. You can have the different phenotypes, of course, but your different micro environments that you're dealing with indoors, outdoors, and greenhouses, in my garden, in your garden, are very different, and they will, in my thinking, result in a different end result. And utilizing your micro environment and learning how to use it to the absolute maximum is highly important. And companion planting is basically taking or cultivating a mini sort of environment where you utilize cannabis and then a whole lot of other plants together in order to build a symbiotic relationship. It helps with water retention, it helps with pest control, it improves yields, so only good things there. And on top of it all, some of the companion plants have fixing abilities. They hoard different nutrients, or they supply nitrogen or phosphorus or potassium into the soil. And then on top of that, even further, you can feed your worms, which are you hopefully cultivating under the ground by chopping all of your excess matter, and instead of removing it like you traditionally would, placing it down onto the ground. It's called chop and drop. and then your microbes and everything can feed off the leftover plant matter, and your worms and some of the beneficial mites will break it down even further.
100%.
And just sort of back to the wine, I think by building an environment like that, you will be able to improve the quality of your product and to master the quality of your cannabis which you're growing. And everyone wants to grow better weed for themselves, so it's kind of a no-brainer. And if you can avoid pests and create an environment that pests don't enjoy, you are working hard at prevention. And as with anything, it's easier to prevent than to cure something, especially on flowering cannabis plants.
Yeah, it's really something that's quite interesting, and it's like not many people think about it, but it's not specific to small scale growers. It's not specific to our home gardens in the cannabis community, like you said. I mean, it's the wine, and wine's not a dick around business. That's massive crops. I know between crop rotations in the agricultural industry, they also have to do companion planting, and they use obviously
cover crops.
Yeah, it re-nutrifies the soil and all of that, and it's so many benefits, and it's so cheap.
Yeah, it's so cheap, and it grows rapidly, and there's a lot of uses that you can get from these plants as well. Like going further into organic gardening, there's a method called FPJ, or fermented plant juice, which is basically the fermentation and then making of your own nutrients.
And also, if it's not just sorry to interrupt. Yeah, you can carry on.
Oh no, I was just going to say that you can basically create your own nutrients by using a single plant type and brown sugar, and then fermenting it. And having these different companion plants that have all of these different abilities can help you create a nice broad range of organic nutrients, which is, like Andy said, just so much cheaper than a lot of the sort of expensive things on the market, and they give you as good results.
And there's one more plus side is sort of on those benefits. Just before we jump into like the list of common companion plants, but I mean, I don't want to spoil the list, but one of them is coriander, and I absolutely love cooking with coriander, and I know it's massively beneficial for my grow. So it's like a 10x win situation for me. So yeah, sorry,
yeah, exactly. I mean, you can. Well, I've prepared a little bit of information, Andy. If we can just screen share.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've prepared a little bit of information. We are now offering a companion planter pack on the website. It's made by the awesome Mystics Grows, and it's really, really a nice product. So I'm going to pop onto that first.
Yeah, I myself have been following my grow quite closely. It's quite an interesting thing.
So here's the new product, and as you can see in the description down here, each of the pack will contain some or slightly differentiations. Always alfalfa though, coriander, English lavender, basil, dill, marigold, or barrage, or chervil. So a few different kinds of companion plants here. And even though Marijuana SA has an awesome blog, which I love with all my heart, I sometimes hop onto this blog over here as well, which is the Royal Queen Seeds blog. I love the media that they put out. I've been reading their blog for many, many years and have spoke about them before. And, there's just so many different beneficial plants that you could be growing in your garden. The list here that we have in front of us is probably around 20 different plants, but I'm not going to speak too much about the whole list. You guys must check it out for yourself. The one that I really want to bring attention to is the alfalfa. I love what they say here, called the king of foods. It fixes nitrogen and then accumulates iron, magnesium, potassium, and phosphorus, which are all the nutrients basically that you're going to require in your grow. So just one plant alone is going to help you to regulate your soil better, lessening your need for sort of extra nutrients and creating a healthier soil in the long run. It also, a lot of these plants have, by building a nice sort of healthy root mass under the ground, you can improve your water retention and slow evaporation, which is important. And alfalfa grows, I have an image over here for everyone to have a look at, grows sort of, like on the ground. So it's a nice crop that's not going to compete with height with your cannabis plant.
Yeah.
It can grow around the base, and then your plant's obviously got it under the canopy. Exactly. And great for chop and drop, great for feeding your worms, and an awesome plant. And you can eat the sprouts as well, which is pretty cool. Alrighty. Awesome. Then the next one is dill, the old faithful. I love dill. I like putting it on my salmon.
Same.
But what's nice about dill is a pest repellent. It repels spider mites. So one of the main things that obviously growers deal with are spider mites. It's an absolute nightmare, and they absolutely hate dill. So if you are cultivating dill in your grow space, the aromas, or your grow area, the aromas are going to be a natural pesticide or pest repellent, and then it will reduce your risk of getting an infection. And so that's the dill. I'm struggling to click my next tab here. A quick one. So marigold is another cool plant which I really like. It's also a really nice smelling plant. It grows super easily. The flowers, as soon as the flowers dry up, they basically drop more seeds, and in my pots where I grow marigold, if there's either a blooming marigold or there's baby marigolds that have been dropped from the previous batch, so it just keeps itself going. And it's it does have some pest repelling abilities, but also because of its sweet, attractive smells, spider mites tend to like to latch onto it. So in your garden, you can use it as basically like a visual aid. If you see spider mites on your marigolds, they've probably gone there first, so you can deal with it easily. You can remove the plant, or you could spray the plant with something if you wanted to, and then obviously to check your cannabis plant, but they probably would have gone to the marigold first. So it can sort of make your inspections a big thing. You're inspecting, if you have outdoor plants, they're often big, hard to see absolutely everything. So utilizing something like this just to make your job that much easier is why not? And like I said, they smell great, they get big, and cultivate your own beautiful flowers in the garden.
They look good.
Yeah. And then the next one is borage. So this is quite a biggish kind of sort of lanky plant, and what's nice about this is I've seen a lot of guys utilizing it's a sort of nearly like a weedy kind of plant, but it makes an awesome fermented plant juice. So it's nice and leafy. You can get a lot of plant mass. You basically take equal parts plant mass and brown sugar. You mix them together evenly while processing the plant matter down to be fine, and then you put it into a sterilized jar with a paper towel elastic on the top, and you leave it in the dark for like 7 days, and then you separate the liquids, and you can utilize that per mil in your water to act as a natural it basically creates natural microbes and acts as a kind of fertilizer and a kind of additive that you can add back onto your plants, and it costs you next to nothing. So just another sort of point on why it's sort of important to be cultivating a broad range of different plants, because some of them can actually act as something that you can add back onto your cannabis directly with a very similar process. And guys, the list carries on. Check out the Royal Queen blog, have a read for yourself at all of the different kinds of companion plants and what they're good at. And then just for the last two things, I want to hop onto two guys' Instagrams here. First, I'm hopping onto at the Green Munchkin on Instagram.
That's nice.
And you can see companion planting in an indoor cannabis grow bag. I think this is a 350 litre grow bag, full living soil. It's the 4th cycle that he's done in this. And this is, we're looking now, it's a little bit down his feed, but I think this is like a 6-day difference in the growth from that to that. Quite impressive. Massive. Not even going to lie. And he's got some really cool content on his Instagram page, so he's doing it really well, and he's got a lot of stuff to teach if you are interested. And then on top of that, we also have the Phyto.alchemist, also a big companion planter. He's done like hugelculture buckets and had a very successful harvest from them. And I mean, this is sort of his growing over in the winter. The soil's fixing itself. You can just see how much of a jungle it looks like. And in the past, I would have been like, this would attract pests, because you can't see in there deep, but you create a micro environment and an environment that brings everything beneficial into your garden, and it just gives you a healthier garden. And I mean, if you're growing one thing, you might as well grow everything, in my opinion.
You're giving it, you're there nurturing it every day. I did it while you were talking about the dill. I was just imagining all these guys like LSTing their dill and like like trimming their basil and like defoliating the basil plants, and like the alfalfa's there getting like mowed and
Yeah, it adds a bit of extra dimension into the grow. And I mean, basically all those plants that I mentioned there are either edible, medicinal, or flowering plants. So all of them will be used by you as well. I mean, I love basil. Basil has amazing aromas that attract multiple different beneficial bugs. And I mean, I'll eat basil like on everything basically.
Yeah,
so
the more the merrier.
If you've got the space, guys, do it. Outdoor is easier, but as you saw, I showed you a prime example of someone doing it inside as well. He utilized a big grow bag, and then on his other part he utilizes a raised material grow bed, which we do have on the website as well. So yeah, that's basically companion planters from Dean. I hope we've inspired you a bit to go and check out some different companion planters.
Epic. Yeah, and then just one thing to add on that was that companion pack by Mystic Grows. So that's basically, so I got mine about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and yeah, I used one pack. It's like $80, and then that covered my whole 9-plant tent. So I just divvied it out, varied it amongst it. Sure, I'd like to have a bigger pot and whatnot, but I've made it more. It's been like the way I've planned it out. I think it's going to look pretty epic when it gets to that point.
That's exciting. Yeah, they're 125 on the website, just so for the sake of accuracy. And yeah, mine has also done super well. And Andy's coming with a lekker presentation. Yes, man's prepared.
So
I just had like links.
So I'm going to flash through mine because it could become quite a lengthy topic. So predatory
Andy, close
mites.
your downloads there at the bottom.
Oh no.
It's like pay slips.
Okay, cool. So there we go. So predatory mites, guys, it's pretty interesting. I'm going to jump straight to the first one, give you something better to look at. And what we're looking at here
better or worse?
Hey?
They look like aliens.
Yeah, no, these are, if anything, it's something fascinating. So, I mean, on the right-hand side, we have the devilish spider mite, very common to South Africa. Almost every grower that I know has had an experience with spider mites. They are absolute cretins, and I think they can all piss off. So, yeah, basically, predatory mites is taking your ecosystem, and instead of putting chemicals on it, you actually can introduce certain other mites, beneficial mites, and these mites are going to then come in and they're going to basically tick, and they're going to take care of all the larvae, and they start you're sending, like, it's like using cats to catch mice at a restaurant. It's on a pest scale though, so these pests feed off the other pests, larvae and things like that. So anyway, so for the two-spotted mite, we're looking at the Phytocelius persimilis is the mite. So that's on the left here, and on the right hand side is the spider mite, just to clarify. And you can see how this the Phytocelius persimilis is basically eating away at it. I'll come back to a little video. So yeah, that's quite a cool one. This is a indigenous, both are indigenous pests to South Africa, which is really nice to know. And then the next one is the thrips and predatory mite Neocelius cusumarius, is on the right hand side is the thrip, and on the left hand side is the thrip eating this fat boy here. He's basically eats the thrip larvae, and yeah, they take care of it, and then once there's no food to feed on, they die off, as far as I know. So let me just pop you over to a little video of this spotted
just
spider
quickly
mite.
Come in here and say that thrip up close looked as ugly as they look on the plants, dude. Fuck them. I hate thrips.
So I'm gonna turn turn the sound real low. I don't want to get copyright claims on any of this music. Can you hear it? No, you can't, eh?
No.
Oh, you can. Oh no, you can't. Anyway, yeah, I don't want to take it. Yeah, anyway, there's the benefit pest. Beneficial pest, and there he is. He's absolutely wrecking. I think that's actually that could be a spider mite or a young thrip. Some of these pests obviously kill multiple, but look at that thing. It's taking it out. No chemicals, nothing. Just taking it down.
Beast mode, dude. He's taking him down. You're just like, here, have some of this, and you just like, they just go out there and take everything down. Dude, this is awesome. Yeah, amazing product.
Look at them. There he's going for. So these are some of the eggs here, and they're going in for the kill shot, and here he is taking out that egg. Yeah, and I mean this video is really cool. I'll try link it below. It's local company, coppered, and then just to jump back into the Prezi on the thrip killers. This is what I've been calling them. There she is, or he is. So I mean, this would look pretty bad if you saw your weed plant and you're like, "Ooh, Yuri, look at all these things," you know. But they're on the hunt. There, look at that, dude. Look at that.
Yes, it looks like it's like sucking it out, like
Dude.
raw or some shit,
Yeah,
dude. Like just literally like
It 100%
sucking
does.
its insides out.
It leaves
Kill
just like
them.
a shell of what the remains and whatnot. So yeah, this is. I mean, dude, yeah, I could watch this stuff all day. It's really satisfying. And yeah, sorry, I'm not a fan of thrips. And anyway, so that was beneficial mites, and just on the last up on that is sticky traps. I didn't bother to spell sticky, I just called them stick traps, and yeah, cheap, no chemicals, great against all flying insects, and better for indoor grows and outdoor grows. I mean, this is as simple as it gets, guys. It's really a environmentally friendly, weed friendly, smoking friendly product. And yeah, I'm quite a fan of it. You know, it just sits there, it's passive. You don't have to monitor it. It can last like entire grows, and they're dirt cheap.
Yeah, they're nice, biodegradable, pesticide-free sticky traps. All important points there. And yeah, I mean, I've seen them in a lot of grows. We obviously have them on the site as well, and they are definitely a cool product because you can also then see if you are getting things.
Yeah.
If you see shit stuck to it, you're like, what is that there? You know.
Yeah. Instead of like inspecting corpses like under the leaves and whatnot.
Yeah, like lying on your back in the tent, like looking upwards with your phone light.
So many times.
Oh,
But yeah, that's the breakdown of beneficial pests and companion plants and sticky traps. Guys, these are all different ways that we can grow without using pesticides or any chemicals on our weed. I mean, obviously me and Dean, we both we're really pro organic growing and pro organic foods and pro organic weed. And yes, there are organic pesticides, which we think are super cool, but it's also nice to just see what you can do with no chemicals. It's a little bit of a step above maybe. But yeah, I'm really a fan of it. And yeah, it's an interesting rabbit hole to go down, and yeah, hopefully you guys maybe learned something today. Also, yeah, really keen to see what you guys are doing with alternative methods. Please pop them in the description below this video. Me and Dean read all of the comments, and we like to reply to all of them. So titillate our brains with what you've been doing, your companion plants and your pests or anything like that. And yeah, we'll love to see them.
yeah, please, guys, any fresh ideas are always appreciated. Let's share that knowledge and let's all improve our growing. That's the end goal, and that's why we keep bringing you this cool content. And yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope it was a sick show. Until next Friday, Andy, what are we talking about?
Next week, I think we are talking about fertilizers.
LED grow lights.
LED grow lights is next week.
It was between the two. We decided to do LED grow lights next week. Fertilizers the following. So, sorry, Andy, put you on the spot there.
I normally would have
Probably
handled
gonna
that.
get cut out.
Yeah, thanks guys. Yeah, make sure to check us out on Instagram. We ran a really sick competition this past week, and yeah, there was prizes to be won and giveaways to be won. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and yeah, till next week, peace and love, guys.
Peace, guys.